My name is Dr. Rick Seguil.
And action. Hey, Jay, this is Kirk
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick. I'll do a tutorial on what to do to hopefully prevent a DVT. DVT stands for deep venous thrombosis. That's the blood clot issues that you'll hear when people travel. There's a couple of things that we're supposed to do that will prevent that. The first thing, if you have to fly the next morning and you're going out to drink the night before, that's going to be a reason to get dehydrated. It's because alcohol will actually make you diurese or pee a lot. When you get to that point, you actually become dry. If you are going to celebrate before the flight, try to tank up during the flight or while you're in TSA. That'll be complicated. I just left the TSA in Orlando and it was a greater than 45-minute window to go through that Disney line that goes back and forth. If you're trying to hydrate, maybe wait till you get past TSA and then buy your water in the terminal. So that's the first thing, is try to get a decent amount of hydration. When you get dehydrated, blood can get thick really quick. And that leads me to my second thing, is stagnation. If you're going on a flight that's greater than an hour, sitting in that seat in a stagnant position sometimes will also induce an issue with the stagnant blood, which leads to blood clots. A couple of things that I would do would be to stretch out that posterior chain, meaning the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, and low back while you're at it. Low back obviously doesn't give you a blood clot, but the three in the leg, the calf muscle, the hamstring muscle, and the glute, can help in preventing blood clots. Whenever I send somebody to the hospital and we do a scan for blood clots, we don't just stop at the calves. We go up to the groin, to the hamstring area. Usually it's the biggest blood vessels that get the biggest problems. It would be important to do a calf stretch, a hamstring stretch, and a glute stretch. First thing I'm gonna show you is how to stretch your calves. Basically, there's three muscles in the calf, but not even talking about the names. I'm just talking about the weight. And a lot of you that are runners or sprinters, you'll do this. So there's a straight knee stretch and then a bent knee stretch. You can keep the knee bent, but you just try to bring your heel to the ground. That's the first one that stretches one muscle of the calf. You keep your legs straight, the knee straight, and then you drop it down. That stretches out that second muscle. And you have to be able to feel the stretch right here. It might hurt. If you have an Achilles tendon issue, be careful, but you hold the position. I'll just do a straight leg one. Hold the position a couple breaths. Just take a deep breath in. If you can't keep your knee straight, go to whatever your tolerance is and hold it. As you exhale slowly, you bring the heel down even further. And you keep on doing 5 cycles of breathing until you can hopefully get to your maximum. I can get to the ground. I'm used to doing this because of yoga. Those are the 2 for calf stretching. With hamstring stretching is keep the knee straight and then go into a forward fold. Go into a forward fold. Hopefully you can keep your knees straight. You just hold this position as well. Now if you have high heels, take them off because you want your heels to the ground nice and supported. And usually, because all of us are tight, I just say hold it in this position. Let your head hang down and loosen. So I'm going to face away from the camera. Wherever the head goes, the body will follow. So those of you who keep your head up like this, you're never going to drop as low as you can. So keep it loose. Take some deep breaths. Every time you take a deep breath in, you exhale and you hopefully will get a little further. Now those of you who are really tight, you'll probably be here and that's okay. But remember, lower the head, keep it loose, loosen the chain. It's also part of the posterior chain. It goes all the way up the back into the neck. So keep it loose. I'll just pretend I'm tight now. Keep it loose, take a deep breath in. As I exhale, I try to drop a fraction of an inch further. Inhale, exhale, another fraction of an inch further. So if you just hold this position, as long as you don't get dizzy, then you can actually hang out here, do some deep breathing, and you'll actually, I'm gonna bend my knees. You feel the stretch here in the low back, but you should be able to feel it in the glute, the hamstring. You won't really be able to activate these guys, so it's still part of the posterior chain, and it feels pretty good. Since most of us have low back pain.
eventually I'll get to the point where be able to touch the ground, keeping the knees somewhat straight, lowering the head. And you can see the hamstrings are always really possessive. I call them possessive, and I call the quads powerful. The hamstrings being so possessive and tight, it'll be hard to let them go, especially if you're an anxious person. But if you loosen up with those breaths, calm down the anxiety, and that's another thing with breathing, you induce a Valsalva maneuver. You take a deep breath in, you hold it. That's called Valsalva. When you hold it, your heart rate drops. It slows down, which also relaxes and takes you out of fight or flight, puts you into love and relaxation. To turn off the tightness of the hamstring and the glute till you get to your maximum stretch. If I do this a little more, I can get palms to the ground. Another option too that I've learned in martial arts, if you're on the ground and it's clean, if you have long pants, and this is what we sometimes do with uniforms, you grab the gi here, and then you can use that as your pull. Again, loosen the neck, take some deep breaths in. In yoga, we breathe through the back, because if you're compressed like this, it's hard to breathe with your diaphragm, but you hold. Every exhale, you lower or pull and give yourself an assist. Always try to loosen your neck. Those of you who are really flexible, you can actually grab your feet or wrap your fingers around your toes, ankles, and pull down further. If you have a partner that's with you, you have them give gentle push to your upper back, but they have to time it right. So you have to breathe loudly. In yoga, it's called Ujjayi breath. As you exhale, you make sure everybody around you hears it. Well, if you have an assist, the partner can listen for the exhale and give you a gentle push. If you've ever spotted somebody in a bench press, you don't pull the whole bar off unless it's an emergency. You just tap it up a little bit, or you just hold your hands under the bar to give the person that you're spotting psychological support. Same thing with this. You just want to give proprioception a push to have the person that you're helping, the bendy, be able to feel, okay, this is what I got to do. I just like to pull down aggressive. So if you're super tight when you begin with, just keep your hands up here. Again, you loosen the neck as much as you can. Exhale, go down. Don't pop back up. Inhale again. Exhale, go down. So you see when most of us breathe, we'll breathe like this, using the shoulders. Or some of you are diaphragmatic breathers where you push the diaphragm and the belly in and out. When you're compressed like this, it'll be a little harder to do that. So you have to forcefully push or feel your back push out. When you do that, honestly, you actually bend further and you're stretching the muscle. Those are some of the things I would do. Stay hydrated as best you can during the flight. I know that it's good to take alcohol on the flight or some type of relaxant if you have anxiety, but you're better off with inositol or kava kava, magnesium, ashwagandha. Those are all herbs that I love. I'll put some links down below, or you can just take your Xanax or your medicine that'll calm you down for the flight, especially if it's wintertime and it's bumpy. Hopefully this gives you a couple of ideas to avoid that DVT. Try to just enjoy the flight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.